Next, let's cover outputting to devices like the iPad. And since we have an iPad here, it'll be the actual iPad, although it could be to a PlayBook or to an Android device or to an anything. So I'm going to use this same collection, which is some Mexico 2011 30-odd images, and
they're not odd.
Well, some people have told me they are.
Okay.
So I've got this in a collection, and so the way you export these for anything, whether it's for printing, if you're going to print in another device or other than out of Lightroom, or you want to send it anywhere, send it to Photoshop, is you go to File, Export. And there are some user presets, which I have. There's one here, for Photoshop editing. I have another one for LL. These are what I do when I export pictures for uploading to my site. And then I've created a preset called for iPad. And just going through where to put them, I'm going to put them in my pictures library, because that's what iPads want when you go to iTunes to synchronize. It wants to be in the pictures directory, and I turn them into JPEGs of very high quality. I set about 85. I don't see any real difference between 85 and 100.
Yeah, these files are not going to be reprocessed, so it's a consumable file, and JPEG compression is fine.
Yeah, very important, sRGB, not Adobe RGB or ProPhoto, not for the web, not for devices. This is important. Resize to fit, and there are several choices, and what I do is I select width and height, and at your suggestion, which is a good one, I set the maximum dimension to 2000 by 2000. So since this is about a 1000 across screen, 1024 is it? Then this allows double tapping, zooming in, and so that works. Otherwise,
and the thing about it is, you because of the iPad, you can change the orientation. A portrait image in the landscape position will be smaller, but then when you rotate it, then it'll be bigger. So you always want to maintain the 2000 by 2000, because then it depends on which orientation.
No, so that was a good suggestion. Resolution doesn't matter.
Yeah, pretty sure it doesn't.
No, because it's 2000 by 2000.
Yes.
Sharpen for, and here we have sharpen for screen. Amount standard. Minimize metadata. I've no point in having metadata in those files, and I don't want anyone telling me, why did you shoot that at f8? And that's basically it. So I have this preset, or I could have done this manually, and I will now hit export. And up here at the top, as we see, it says exporting 30 JPEG files, and this will take a couple of minutes, going pretty quickly. Okay, it's finished exporting. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to hide Lightroom. Here is iTunes. The next step is, and I'll just put the iPad here, is plug in my iPad, and I'll just put it, well, I'm not going to use it yet, so I'm just going to put it down to the side here. Let me make this bigger. Somebody shrunk it, and they shouldn't have. Hate it when people touch my computer.
Chris.
No, it was you. We're going to go to Photos. So I've gone here into my Pictures folder, and I'm choosing Select Folders, and here's Mexico 2011, and I'm going to hit Apply, Syncing. This lights up.
It's got some syncification going on here.
Yeah. So again, this will take a couple of minutes. Okay, so it's now okay to disconnect. So let us see what we hath wrought, and put this one over here. And if I go to Photography, Photos, and here's Mexico, and there are all my Mexico pictures.
Cool.
And I can hit Slideshow, and I'm going to do Dissolve, so I'm going to start the slideshow.
Very nice.
And there's my shot. So now let's just run this for a second, and let's stop it. Okay, so there's the double tap, and as you pointed out, I've got my vertical lock on. Good old iPad vertical lock. Used to be in the previous software, it was the mechanical switch. Now it's not the mechanical switch anymore. Okay. So again, so there it is as vertical, double tap to move in.
Yeah, the really funny thing is that I've gotten to the point now where the thought of actually carrying prints around just to show images, this is much easier for viewing and showing. Admittedly, you know, it's kind of ironic because some of the shots that I've got on my iPhone and my iPad are 7-shot P65 stitches. So it's kind of like, you know, you got an 80 megapixel camera,
Right.
for the purposes.
Well, this, right, this is shot with the IQ 180, so this is a 500 meg file as a TIFF. You know, that's the most I can show.
Yeah. Well, you could actually show more if you didn't limit it to 2,000 by 2,000.
I know. But it's a great way of sharing your images.
And the thing that I would point out is that a lot of photographers and reps in the commercial, I've got a friend that she basically reps about a half a dozen photographers, and she just carries around a single iPad. You know, shows the photographer that the art director wants to see, and I think she's also been known to actually message her over the iPad. So art directors are pretty, you know, device savvy. Sure. So this is iPad, kind of the start of the new age of electronic media.
Yeah, exactly. And that's it. So it's so simple. Just export, sync, done.
Well, I think the slideshow in the photos is actually pretty nice, but my preference is actually to create a keynote presentation on the laptop and then import that into the iPad, because then I can create durations and add music and basically have much greater control.
Okay,
I'll go ahead and demo it.
Okay, Dr. Science, why don't you show us? And by the way, that's a nice shirt. It's again subdued. Very tasteful, sort of.
In kind of a...
In a showy, flashy kind of way.
Yeah, okay.